Flashback to June 4th, 2024. The Toronto Blue Jays were facing off against the Baltimore Orioles at home, trying to get their season back on track. Bowden Francis at this point of the year was mainly in a bullpen role for the Blue Jays and was also trying to get his season back on track, walking into this game with an ERA of 6.04. The Jays, up against this high-powered Baltimore Orioles offense, run into a jam early on and call on Francis to take the bump in the third. His opponent being Ryan Mountcastle with a runner on first and a runner on third. Francis, a little behind in the count, readies himself, throws, and Ryan Mountcastle, as he has done time and time again, goes deep at the Rogers Center for a 3-run blast. Francis finished that game pitching 3.1 innings, giving up 4 earned runs, contributing to what was an embarrassing 10-1 loss for the Blue Jays. Now, I will be completely honest in admitting that it was at this point of the season where we had seen Francis take the bump several times and rarely get any good results that I was pretty much out on Bowden Francis. There was a ton of hype in the preseason, but it just wasn't translating, and I was starting to wonder if it ever actually would. I will also be completely honest in admitting that I was wrong. Bowden Francis today is a completely different player than he was several months ago, and he has been on one of the most torrid stretches that I have ever seen a pitcher go on. How did Bowden Francis completely turn his season around, and what does his future look like with the Toronto Blue Jays? What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're going to be talking about Bowden Francis and the miraculous turnaround that he's had this season. Before we get into it, I encourage you guys to hit the like and smash the subscribe button if you enjoy Blue Jays content and discussion so you don't miss any future videos. Alright folks, let's get into it. So when I say that Bowden Francis has got the attention of the entire MLB, I can assure you that I am not exaggerating. In his last 9 games, Bowden Francis has given up only 10 earned runs in 54.1 innings pitched, which works itself out to be a 1.66 ERA. And this impeccable ERA is no fluke either. Codify tweeted this out prior to his last start, saying every AL/NL pitcher in history to pitch at least 48 innings and allow no more than 27 base runners in any span of 7 starts. Bowden Francis, his last 7 starts. That's it. That's the list. It was in this 7-start span that Francis also had a run of 4 starts where he finished with a whip of 0.31, which according to OptaStats is the lowest whip by any MLB pitcher over any 4-start span in the modern era. So yeah, Francis has been pretty damn good. All of this begs the question though, how? How did Francis go from getting absolutely shelled in the first part of the season to practically flirting with a no-hitter every other game? Well, for me, I think that a big part of it is the pitches that he's actually choosing to throw.
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Take a look at this chart right here. This is the rolling averages of the pitches that he's choosing to throw by month. So as we can see, we got the fastball here in red, we have the curveball in blue, we got the slider in yellow, and then the split finger in green, and then we also got the sinker down here in orange. So if we look in April, every single one of these points is a month of the season. In April, he was throwing the four-seam fastball 47.8% of the time, which, I mean, that's obviously a lot, but it's also the four-seam fastball, and that's what you build off of, and we can see that throughout pretty much the whole season, it's been in those high 40% range to just over 50%. In June, it was at 57.1, so that's the fastball, but this is where it gets really interesting because we got the curveball up here at 34.1%, and his curveball gets hit. It's got a batting average against of over 300. 100. And in the beginning of April, we saw that. It was just getting absolutely shelled, and he was throwing it as his secondary pitch. But look at what happens when the season progresses. In June, it goes down, goes up just a little bit in July, but then in that month of August, where he was, arguably the best pitcher in baseball, it drops like a stone to 6%. And alternatively, the split finger, the splitter, started out the year at 7.6%, and then slowly but surely it has been rising all the way up to where in August it was at 27.2%. And that pitch right there is way better than his curveball. So we're seeing right here just an absolutely massive mid-season adjustment from Bowden Francis. And this difference of not throwing the curveball, throwing it much less, and throwing the splitter instead, this has made a world of difference to Bowden Francis's game this season. That right there is a true mid-season adjustment, and it's really special because that's the difference between just an average player and somebody who can be great. It's the ability to, when you are getting hit, when it's not working out, to make that adjustment mid-season, and Bowden Francis has done it beautifully. Francis is finishing this season off in the best possible way, and at this point, you can lock in that he is going to be a key component in that rotation in 2025. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays go!